exorcism are real.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
The
Most
Catholic Church,
definitely.
yeah, the Catholic Church is the ones that have been. Now we've gone into more deliverance, but there's a difference between exorcism and deliverance. There's a separate deliverance. You at church and it's a low level demonic spirit on you cast out.
Okay.
Exorcism are when your body has completely been mangled, transformed into the demon. You doing, all kind of your
Right.
body, your skin changes.
That's scary.
Your eyes take possession, which is all real. And so there's levels of possession, but now I don't think a lot of churches can handle real they can handle deliverance, but exorcism is another level. So we're gonna play with this one. That's one. I'm not into Catholicism, and I don't. I have my disagreements about them, but they've been slaying demons for since the beginning. So let's play this.
Yours, but for those in the audience, what does it mean for a house to be infested or demonized?
Yep.
So this was a lady who she had lost her own home. It had burned down, and so she moved in with her uncle, and her uncle was away. He was out of the country for a couple of years on business. He made his home available to her. And what happened? Just the first thing that she had mentioned was wherever she was in the house, there was a sense of being watched, that she couldn't see anything watching her, but there was just this ominous sensation of being watched.
Definitely sign of exorcism.
And it was always intense, but it would get more and more intense.
Oh, that's scary.
At different random parts of the day.
Wow.
Objects would fly off the shelves by themselves.
Oh.
Something that was sitting safely on a counter would just drop onto the floor and shatter. The worst thing, she said, was a music box that was in her uncle's bedroom on the dresser that would chime at random
Music
parts.
boxes are creepy enough.
They're creepy enough.
Let alone having a demon do it.
Right. Right.
All
and
right,
it gets worse.
Keep going.
Because
Yeah.
so it would just go off at random times. Now by this point she had been there several months. So it had a key winder. Nobody was winding this box. She went to try to see, are there batteries to it or is it somehow receiving electrical power? She could not lift it up off the dresser. Wow. It was on four little small pedestal legs, but it wouldn't budge. So she removed the key so that, she thought somehow is this accidentally through the movement of the house or something being wound. She got rid of the key. It changed nothing. And then there was just games where she would be in the house and like, wait a minute, I haven't heard the music box go off all day. Maybe it's over. And then at that moment, the music box would go off.
Wow.
So
Demon said, I got you.
Is it the case? People ask all the time, can the devil read your mind? Can he read your thoughts? No. But he's an excellent observer.
Yes.
So he can deduce what you're probably thinking.
Yes.
By your body language.
Wow.
So when these certain things, is this what you had heard or is this what you then experienced when you went there? Because I imagine you have people calling you saying they feel like they're being watched. You're like, all right, we'll just have an aspirin and go to bed.
So this particular lady...
Try not to swing, sorry, or else the camera will not pick up on you.
So this particular lady, she was very well spoken. She was educated. She didn't seem to be the kind of person that was given to the imagination. But that isn't saying anything, because you can have really, really educated people, well-spoken people, articulate people who are given to the imagination.
I wonder what
she had
means.
said, and again, I was kind of brand new at this. Well, not kind of. I was brand new at it. What she said was just there was a convincingness to it. Like I looked at her face, and she's not lying. And the first thing she said was, maybe I'm just crazy. Mm-hmm. And somebody who is crazy is never going to say that. I mean, in the sense of people with mental illness have a particular perspective, and that explanation is never part of their explanation of what is going on. By and large.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is what I count. But so the first, she questioned her own sanity, and so again, I am not experienced at all at this point. So she could have said anything, but in terms of her face, there was something there that seemed genuine. And you know what? Hey, I just want to go check this out.
Yeah.
So I grabbed what I needed to do, a house blessing. I grabbed, and that's all I was doing, right? I was blessing a house, and I was not a deputed exorcist at that point. So I went to her house, and she opened the door, and I entered in, and as soon as I did so, there was a ceiling fan that was still, and it started spinning very, very slowly. Like extremely slow. Fast enough that you could see it spinning, but slow enough that like there's no setting that would cause that.
Wow.
Because I believe what happens at that time, that demon spirit saw you from outside. You know what I'm saying? It didn't see you up the road, but it saw you outside.
Okay.
Or unless it talked to other spirits on the route saying you're coming. But it saw you outside. And when that span was spinning, because it was spinning it was sitting there looking at you. You know, just letting you know its presence is here. But they like to be seen. Real spirits that's walking.
So my question is, why is the lady, she just didn't get an axe, a hammer, and break and tear up the music box and just demolish it? That's what I want to know.
Well, because some things have more tie to them, but it could be not. What if it's not the box? He talking about the box, but what if it wasn't the box?
But, well, true.
Well, let's see.
But you would never know if you didn't.
The most useless, pointless setting. And then all of a sudden, like spinning so fast,
getting hot.
Like airplane propeller fast.
Wow.
Where it was a blur, to say the least. The noise in the room picked up and it was an airplane propeller for all intents and purposes. Everything that wasn't extremely heavy was blowing around the room.
How was the woman reacting as this happened when you entered?
She was in shock because it had never acted that violently.
On that level.
It was up to that point games, teasing, haunting kind of stuff.
Okay.
This was a lot more action than anything else. Right? Before it was sounds and feelings. Now it was a manifestation of power, if you will. And so, gosh, she I remember her gasping, and at that point I thought, okay, this is great because, hey, the devil's here, and so
she probably felt relief too, knowing she wasn't crazy. If you're encountering this,
I'm sure she did. I'm sure she did, and I just went into
that's crazy to where you're like, okay, good, it's not me, so the devil is in there. That's crazy.
But why are you still there?
Because you don't know what it is. It could be attached to an item. It could be attached to you. You have some
but you
spirits
still
that
know
follow
it's a
people
presence
around.
there.
Yeah.
Clearly, you're not insane where you know good and well that this thing.
Remember how when we used to back when we were in Atlanta and then we would move, but we'd feel like, did something just keep following us from Beecher? Remember we would say that? So some things can be items and some stuff can be familiar spirits.
I got it.
mode. Okay, I'm going to go to that counter over there and I'm going to make holy water.
Were you nervous, this being your first encounter?
No, I you know, maybe that's a gift. Like I don't have a fear of evil. I'm a convert from atheism. So my fear is being separated from God.
And that's right.
That's my fear.
Yep.
I don't have any other fear. So when you're encountering the devil, you're encountering a loser. He's already lost. And now, that being said, you know, the devil is not nothing. He is dangerous. Mm-hmm. Next to God, he's nothing. But
But next to you, maybe?
He is dangerous and needs a certain respect, a certain difference. Why? Well, because he can hurt people. Mm-hmm. And you cannot act flippantly around the devil.
Nope.
He will react.
Correct.
He will react, and frankly, God will give him permission to react. God will allow him to manifest his power if you yourself exceed where you should be standing. Right? God will allow the devil to give you a smack if you need it, and to go back into the place where you belong.
Wow.
And to recognize your own smallness too. That the battle at the end of the day, the battle in exorcism, it's God's battle. God is the real exorcist. All of us are just his agents. Right? He's the one that drives the devil out. It's never really about us. So if any of us, you know, if we die today, well, the church raises up another one tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, big.
So you went over to the kitchen counter.
So went over to the kitchen counter, made holy water. It was in the process of making that holy water. that the music box goes off. And,
No.
And that's when, she said, there, that's what I was telling you about. I thought, okay, no problem. We'll take care of it.
Calmly.
So I did a blessing of the place. And in this blessing, I asked God to come in and take away any and every evil that is there. And I started at a corner of the first floor, went, sprinkled holy water all throughout, went up to the second floor, did all the different rooms there, and I saved her uncle's room as the last one. And when I entered in that one, so sure enough, there was the music box, and it's chiming away. And I put down the container with the holy water, the holy water pail, if you will. And I reached down to pick up this music box, and I pick it up, no problem.
Wow.
And then, she lets out another gasp, that she was never able to do that. But I picked it up, no problem. But as soon as my hands touched it, it stopped chiming. There was no chime whatsoever from it. I opened it up. There was nothing inside this music box.
Hollow.
There were no mechanical
Hollow.
parts. There were no gears.
Oh, wow.
There was no chiming mechanism. It was an empty box. Nor was there ever anything in it. Like there was never something that was in it that was taken out, where you can see screw marks or glue marks, screw holes, or that kind of thing. I could see the keyhole. I could see where it was a brass keyhole where the key would go in, but the key itself would go into nothing.
So was it then just a box that she thought was a music box?
It looked like a music box,
but nothing inside.
Perfectly from the exterior, and inside there was nothing.
Trash it go.
Hey, thank you.
Trash that would have went.
Wow.
Yeah, would have got out of there. And then when your house is haunted, I still don't. Even after that demonic spirit is gone, I don't know if I still want to live there.
And the thing is, I mean, being there with all that external, stuff, powers and stuff, I don't feel like I would have wanted to stay. I know I wouldn't have.
I would have.
But how do you know that it's not going to come with you?
Right.
That's the question.
That's when you have to check your items. That's why you have to check cursed items. People have typically in a house don't even know that they got something that can be in there. That's why you go through seasons where you have to go through your stuff. Spring cleaning. You got this old picture from your aunt. Or this old mask, or these old dolls. That's why I know we're a little different in this space, but you like trinkety stuff that you got from people. I don't. I really don't like trinkety stuff because I don't know what the process has happened with that thing. I don't like trinkety stuff. Mm-hmm. And some stuff, is perfectly fine, but then some stuff might have been touched by something. But still, I just don't like the look of trinkety.
Trinkety stuff has come from my parents.
Yeah.
Primarily my mom. Well, I have some of my dad's trinkety stuff, but my dad didn't play that. You just, he wasn't just gonna get stuff from people.
You remember when we were cleaning out your mom's house, trying to get her squared away, and we had to pray. We did have to pray over some of that stuff we were pulling down, because you were like, and then at one point you prayed, and you were like, you were like, something up with this angel in the box. You remember that? And I was like, throw it. You ain't taking nothing that's cautious, because you don't know.
I don't remember which one it was.
Because what happens is they would have collected stuff from somebody else, and that collected something from somebody else.
Well, maybe. My mama liked to order stuff off of TBN and all that stuff. That's where all them angels came from her. TBN.
Well, you saw with the Annabelle doll, and you saw that stuff that, although you could have a $1 billion, you had that something entered into it. But I'm just mindful about that, because I'm, the furthest I can go with something is what we have. Like you have your little bears, that's about it. Mm-hmm. But you have to be mindful about when you collect things from people.
Yeah.
That empty box would have been in a straight garbage can. It wouldn't have gone with me, because
But I guess, and so she was tied to the music box because it was in the uncle's room.
Yeah.
And I guess that was sentimental.
Yeah.
Because that was the uncle's house. I'm assuming.
That's what I'm thinking. I think that was the uncle's house, and maybe that was keeping that entity there.
Right.
But that's why, like you said, he would bless the house. But I'm wondering, no, because any Christian, any believer could have gone in and do that. You have the ability. Like people always say, like, you ever notice whenever somebody think in exorcism, they think Catholic. They don't think about prayer ward. Let me get somebody to bless the house. But it works. God honors it.
Right.
God honors it. That's why so many levels of components to God's thinking is just what is overly unbelievable. Just
Yeah.
like how he said that God has to allow that demonic spirit to roam. Just to kick you in the
Right.
butt to say you in the wrong position. You don't supposed to be doing this. Somebody else is supposed to do this. And so I'm going to let this fear you to never do it.
But what really gets me is when people start seeing this paranormal activity,
Yeah.
they stay. Okay, maybe the first 2 times you might be like, no, that's just me. Something, I'm gonna zoom out. Something that ain't what I think it is. Okay, let's say the 3rd or 4th time, you're like, no. But then by the 5th time, you need to be zooming in.
Zoom.
Why are you gonna still stay in the house and stuff is flying around? The box just keeps coming on. No, you haven't had any alcohol. No, you haven't had
None of that.
anything that's gonna alter your perception. You know what's going on. Why you still there?
Right.
Period. No, thank you. I think people cause the harm to themselves mentally, and if they have an open door, it could be potential demonic possession within them if they continue to stay. It's no way I'm going to sit up here and knowingly share space with a demonic entity. No, thank you.
But let me tell you something. Before I went through deliverance for myself, when I went through deliverance, years to go back, something was following. I just felt like, especially when I had moved into my first house. I don't know if I really maybe I noticed it before then. I don't really think so. But after I left that house, it just felt like something especially when you at the house, it would feel like time to time something was watching. You remember we used to feel that at times, like on the first house?
Beecher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, from time to time,
Weird.
something will feel like watching, but not all the time. And then we'll go somewhere else, and sometimes you feel that feeling. But you can have familiar spirits. You can have spirits attached to you from something else.
And then later you told me what happened with the old lady at the end of the street.
Yeah, and I found
was
out that
like,
the lady had died, and she didn't die in the house. She died. She passed at the mailbox when a car hit her.
You didn't tell me that.
Which
coming back trying to get in the house.
can bring spiritual
Right. Things.
Because if a person depends on the spirit of that person before they pass, whether they left, they went to a resting place, then there's this in between state that certain things at times, I don't know why certain don't go up or go into the pit. What makes God allow them to be able to hover in the middle,
Right.
and just do stuff, shaking blankets and stuff?
Yeah.
So that's always freaking to me. And I be seeing people on TikTok. And I'm just wrap this up. I see people on TikTok all the time behind a house that's literally stuff is moving, shaking, and they'll be on the live or they'll be talking and be like, see, it's moving. Ain't nobody back there moving that. Ain't no strings, no cords. And it's rare that I see somebody say, in the mighty name of Jesus, I cast this out in the mighty name of Jesus that you cannot live or dwell here. Those people, I see people
Clueless.
they're going to get sage.
It's like, I don't understand.
sorry,
I don't understand why they, if you don't have no power, why are you fooling around with that?
Right.
There is power in the name of Jesus.
Not in the name of your sage plant from your wicker store.
Power in the name. And it's like, why are you sitting here playing around with it?
I even saw one girl, she had a big bundle of sage, and she was like, in the name of Jesus. I bet that whatever that spirit was, probably like this.
Laughing.
Right.
Laughing.
Because you don't believe
Did
it.
he and the 12
You gotta believe it,
use
too.
sage?
You got to believe
That's
it.
where people need to go back as a reference point.
Yeah.
Did he and the 12 do that? Did they sage the place before they went to cast out the demons? No.
In the Old Testament, God called it strange fire, strange smoke. That
Go to the front. You're so blurry.
Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I'm standing. Okay. Anyway, I'm standing. But so that strange fire, things happen, demonic possessions happen. People don't believe it until they actually see it. And I can't believe when people go and they actually have that experience and don't accept Jesus, because if the demonic is real, heaven is real.
And if that ain't something that's gonna sway your mind right there, then I don't know what in the Sam Hill will, because that's right in front of your face, before your eyes, that something else is occupying that space, and it ain't Jesus.
Well, on that note, man, if y'all want to see more content like this, smash that like button, subscribe. Come on to the family, and we'll appreciate y'all.
Love you guys.